Okay, so I think I'm pretty much audible, right? Can someone confirm?
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, I
Yes,
can
you're
hear
audible.
you.
Okay, great. Thanks for confirming, and we'll get started now. So, welcome to this session of nutrition wellness for health, and this webinar basically will be covering on nutrition's basics. I will not be going very technical. It is more to make you understand the very generics of day-to-day nutrition, and it would be more to how to apply nutrition, how to understand nutrition in today's world. Because most of it is like Greek, and we know the basics, but still we don't know in our day-to-day world how do we look at the food. So we'll be talking about that and running through some of the slides which represent some of those facts. Okay. So moving in for the first slide, first is the disclaimer. Please do understand that this is offered, whatever has been covered is more for informational purpose. If you're trying to follow this for your day-to-day, if for any cure, it's better you consult because every profession has certified doctors. I'm offering you just for in continuing awareness and for information purpose. And if anyone is using this for complete chronic medications, please do refer to some expert doctors on nutrition before pursuing any of this. These are very well verified information. They're true in nature. It's just that some of the modalities have to be covered in terms of legalities and how much of doses to be taken and things like that. Some of these are very generic, but some are something which you need to consult, approved medical practitioners. So with that disclaimer, let me get started. So what is in this meeting or in this webinar is about some of the human macro and micro. So the next, in terms of, we'll also try to touch upon quickly on some of the plant-based nutrition. Why and reason is there is a direct link of plant nutrition and human nutrition. So that way you'll understand what is happening with our nutrition in terms of deficiencies. And also we'll try to cover some of the misconceptions people have about fat and glucose. And
You
so
muted.
we'll run through some of the diets, what has been running around.
Mute, you know.
I think someone is talking. Please go on mute. And also today's the nutrition deficiencies root cause, we will talk about it, and also some of the interdependencies in some of the nutrition. So before I get started, some of these are the words we'll try to demystify in this session in terms of what is fat, what is a diet, what is an macronutrient, what is a mineral, what is calcium. Most of them know, some of the other carbohydrate and complex carbohydrate, how probiotics plays a role, what are vitamins. Some of these are the ones we'll cover in this session. So we'll start with the human nutrition. Basically, if you're looking at human nutrition, basically we cover macronutrient and micro. Macronutrients for humans are carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. Pretty much we have studied in our basic schooling. But in terms of nutrients, what we don't understand is the kind of minerals play significant functions in our organs. So even if you go to naturopathy, the first thing they say is, guys, most of your organs are healed by micronutrients, the minerals like zinc or iodine or copper. Basically, today our challenge is we are eating a lot of macronutrients, which are carbohydrates mainly today. People have almost given up fats because we are not really getting healthy fat food. We are not getting. We are some are vegetarian, so most of them are ending up eating only carbohydrate. And minerals are very critical for your organ function. So that's why micronutrient plays a bigger role. And even in homeopathy, we treat a lot of diseases with micronutrients. So that's why magnesium, which comes with fruits and vegetables, are quite significant. So we'll talk about plant nutrition to just give you an idea why you are having deficiencies in nutrition. and things like that. So any questions here? I don't think anyone has questions in macro and micronutrients. Micronutrients could be vitamins and minerals, and we'll mainly focus on minerals in this session. Coming to macronutrients, as I told you, carbohydrates are nothing but grains. Anything which is wheat, anything which is rice, which is a millet, all are macronutrient carbohydrate. Proteins are typically you get good dairy proteins or non-vegetarians and things like that. Fats are your ghee, oil, and things like that. And minerals are something like copper, zinc, and stuff like that. You have other vitamins which is essential, but we'll not dwell much onto it because we are trying to cover in terms of deficiencies, in terms of other options of minerals, because that plays a lot of role in today's healthy living. Okay, so if you see the diagram, basically we are talking about proteins which are could be anything from a dairy to non-veg predominantly. Fat could be anything which is a healthy pure oils, and you also get fats from some of the non-vegetarians, and you also get from dairy. And carbohydrates, you have a lot of choices and a lot of things we are ingesting. So we'll get into the details. See, the thing in carbohydrate is what people are lacking today is we eat carbohydrate, but we're not eating healthy carbohydrate. Basically, healthy carbohydrates are complex carbohydrates, which are nothing but unpolished, unrefined rice, unpolished rice, or unpolished wheat. No, like maida is a refined wheat. So those are the things which are simple carbohydrates. We don't want to eat those kind of things. That is leading to a lot of obesities, uh, something like diabetes, all that. So what we need to understand is if you are not eating protein for whatever reason, either you're vegetarian or you're not getting good dairy, your fat is very limited because you don't get good fats available. Foods, there's very limited options of fats. Most of them are eating carbohydrate. At least start eating complex carbohydrate, which is unpolished rice or unpolished wheats like whole wheat, and they're also trying to get as much as organic. Eat millets. Millets are typically not polished and things like that. So we'll just get into the next slide. In terms of plant, what we say for humans is we need proteins, fats, and carbohydrate. But for plant, they need nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. These are the macronutrients for plant, and I'll tell you how it is important for you to understand some of the macronutrients of plant and how it affects you. And also, plant do take a lot of micronutrients like iron, magnesium, boron, zinc, copper, and these things. Only when plant are grown with these micronutrients with sufficient quantity, and when you eat those plants, these micronutrients are transferred to your body. The only way you cannot be deficient is by eating more of um, more of eating plants which are grown with micronutrients and macronutrients. Like plant and humans have become the same story. People are eating a lot of carbohydrate, macronutrients like carbohydrate. Plants are also nowadays fed with only macronutrient, including potassium, phosphorus. There's very little of micronutrient. So basically, plant is also coming as the important food. Means it looks like a tomato, but it doesn't have any much iron, much zinc, or much copper in it. So that is the reason why when you eat these kind of food which are grown with the fertilizers, which basically fertilizers, they typically induce more of macronutrient. It doesn't have much micronutrient. You're not, when you eat those kind of food, you're really having micro deficiencies. So that's why you end up taking a lot of iron supplement, boron supplement, or copper supplement. All this can be changed. Either you grow or procure something which is grown organically, which has a lot of soil. Soil has a lot of micronutrients. So the typical reason why you need to understand is you're eating plants which are grown with nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus, which becomes carbohydrates for you. So if you grow rice, they basically consist of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. But those rice or those any of vegetables might not be using much of micronutrients. So it depends on how the food what you eat is grown matters. And as I told you, in terms of carbohydrate is also called as carbs. So don't get confused when people say carbs, carbs. It's nothing but carbohydrates. And as I told you, simple carbohydrates, which are like refined maida, bread, Maggi, or any kind of candy, sugar, Cerelac, all these are nonsense. They are just obesity and diabetes. So a lot of people might have told you, guys, don't eat, sugar, but you can go eat rice and dosa. Basically it's all the same. It's all glucose, and it is whether sugar or whether any simple carbohydrate. It's all sugar. So your number one diabetes cause is you're eating refined carbohydrate. So just don't think that you're only when you eat sugar you get diabetes. When you eat anything which is white in terms of carbohydrate, white rice, white maida, or all these are just refined carbohydrates or simple carbohydrates. So start eating which is unpolished whole grains, and that would lead you to better health. And there are about fats. I don't want to go much into fats. What is very important to understand in this whole slide is you need to understand that fats, which are industrial trans fats, those are not good, especially the oils like which are hydrogenated, could be anything from a mineral oil or any kind of oil. Those are very harmful. So what you need to really stick is in terms of some of the natural oils which comes from either animal or plant based. So try to avoid anything which is a hydrogenated or any kind of man-made oils. Especially nowadays with all your refined oil, there are mineral oils which are added, and there are other kind of technologies. I don't know. There are even cottonseed oil which is hydrogenated. So just don't use any oil which is made out of industries. Just try to get a pure seed oil extract. That's enough. And that's the only way fats can be vegetarians can be options. Dairy
Pen, notebook,
limited.
the Alexo.
Okay, so that's why in fats is very important. Don't eat industrial trans fats. And in dairy also be careful that the dairy what you're getting as a butter or you're getting ghee or paneer is made pure. Most of it is. Okay, so moving in next, I'll take your questions at the end because there are too many slides to cover, so I'm just running through quick. As I told you in terms of fats, you know that fats are saturated, unsaturated. So basically, which is saturated or unsaturated. I don't see there is anything wrong in it. Only what you need to really not eat is on a trans fat, what we told as industrial hydrogenated oil. And in terms of other technicalities, water saturated, polysaturated, monosaturated, don't get into all that technicalities as of now. Just understand anything which is pure natural made oil in front of you is the best oil you can. Don't just believe on any of this brand oil, all this. They are just all adding other additives like mineral oil. So just try to get anything which is a pure oil in, done. And those are natural oils, whether they call saturated, polysaturated, it doesn't matter. What matters is it is pure, organic, no man-made chemicals or additives are added. So into the fats, there are other versions like this, saturated, monosaturated. So just you don't need to really dwell into it. Today's toxicity is just about what kind of fat. And proteins, as I told you, most of the proteins are in non-veg, but there are few vegetarian options. Like most of lentils have a lot of protein. So if you're not a non-vegetarian, just try to use these lentils, but make sure it is sprouted. If you eat sprouted, it gives you a lot of prana or plasma energies, and it also helps you to remove the pectic acid by soaking it. So make sure you can consume a lot of these beans or peanut butter and green peas or things like that, but try to sprout it as much as possible so that you really leverage the whole protein and fats. See, today's world, there are a lot of packaging which are says there's a nutrition information. A lot of people don't apply your carbohydrate protein formula. If you see here, I've just shown the rice, brown rice. And if you see the total carbohydrate is for every 100 grams, 23%, 23% or 23 grams is carbohydrate. If you see, there is hardly 2 grams of or 2% of protein in your rice. But if you come to the rightmost, which is rice, white rice, and if you see there also it is the same. But what is really lacking here between brown rice on the leftmost and white rice on the rightmost is basically the fibers. So basically, when white rice is not having any fiber, and you will not find that information when you see this. This is how they are fooling most of us, because they say, see, brown rice and white rice, it has similar proteins, it has similar carbohydrates, but what about the fiber? That is not shown in your nutritional information. So this is another reason why a lot of people, or at least people like me, when initially before I came into this, I used to say it's all the same, right? Technically, it has same carbohydrate, same protein, but the fiber ray makes a lot of difference to your health. And if you see Apple itself, Apple also has carbohydrates. So a lot of people were telling after eating fruit, why I should have rice or I should have full meal. Basically, if you're having apple also, most of the fruits has carbohydrate. And if you see in the middle, your apple basically has 14% carbohydrate in it. Okay. And so basically if you're eating fruits, you're basically having carbohydrate, you're having carbs, you're having a meal. You don't have to eat a fruit and then eat a rice along with it. That's where you're spiking your sugars. And even if you're so these fiber and these carbohydrate in fruits are not shown. So a lot of diabetes patients are told don't eat fruits but eat rice. What does that mean? Your rice has more carbohydrate than fruits. And some people this blank say that, oh, because you ate fruits, that's why your sugar went up. Basically if you're eating a fruit and carbohydrate, basically your rice is contributing more carbohydrate. So if you had eaten only apple, the sugar wouldn't have gone up. So the blame game is always on the good thing in disguise. And basically in fruits you will have a lot of vitamins, minerals and things like that. If you see vitamin C is 7%. There are other vitamins which are not, or nutrients which are not mentioned here. And easily they are highlighting that brown rice has 10% magnesium. So if you see, the magnesium is high, 10%, double of white rice, which is magnesium is 3% here, 10%. And iron seems to be the same, but fiber or component is not there. So that's why today's nutrition label has become a kind of comedy, you can say. But anyway, so the benefit of carbohydrate is basically if you are walking, standing and stretching, you need sugars, glucose. It's just that without carbohydrate you might not be able to do a lot of physical work. So if you're not really doing a lot of physical work, especially with a kind of starch and sugars which are required, basically anyway, though I told you carbohydrates are starch and sugars, it turns into glucose. It's not just white sugar, it is just your anything which is carbohydrates. That is the biggest takeaway you need to do in this meeting or in this webinar. Proteins are very important, especially if you want a good muscles, good body structure. Your proteins are important. So when kids are growing up, don't feed them eat chapatis, eat rice. This is not the way they will get a good physical body. Their good physical body comes with proteins and fats. So make sure you are providing them with a lot of proteins and fats. And there are some of the vitamins and minerals which comes part of your carbohydrate, protein or fat. So basically you can't say I will just have mineral but I will not have a protein. Most of the protein have fats, most of the carbohydrates have little bit of minerals. Fiber is very important, where most of your nutritional certifications doesn't say how much fiber it is. So that's why if you see here, it is clearly written fiber is required for the formation of feces, waste products, regulating blood sugar level. If this is as basic as this, why are today's nutrition facts doesn't label the fiber information? So the government is just playing around with saying we are educated, we are putting the information, but it is not a complete information. So basically you need to understand, without fiber, without labeling the fiber, you are being taken for a ride. And most of your proteins, vitamins are important than carbohydrate. We have been told morning have chapati, rice 3 times, and you think you are building a strong children. You are just creating an in some case they're even important, they say. People are not, our kids are not strong as what we had our previous generations. That's because we are not eating a lot of protein and fats. We are just eating chapatis and rice without much of proteins. And you know what is protein? It could be groundnut, it could be your some of your lentils which we are not eating. So just stop saying kids just eat rice, don't miss your meal, just say eat the right food. Okay. Then you get really a masculine or proper feminine kids. Otherwise, we're all going to have a next generation. So, what is a nutritional diet? They say is at least daily you need to have, 200 grams of protein and fat. Carbohydrate is just a little more than that. But typically, with today's lifestyle, you better decrease your carbohydrate and eat more of protein and fat. That gives you a lot of good health. So if you go into a lot of nutrition theories diet, they say you follow Mediterranean diet, you follow vegetarian diet, you follow paleo diet, you follow keto diet. What is all that? It's just as simple as, if you're Mediterranean diet, you're using 50% food is carbohydrate, another 50% is close to protein and fats. That's why till today, a lot of people say just use Mediterranean diet. That is eating half of your meal just is protein and fat. And some people want to have vegetarian diet. There also, if you see, carbohydrate is restricted, so very close to what Mediterranean diet says. And paleo diet is also 40 to 60%. But so if you see, it's just that everything has a 50% average. But what really varies is in paleo diet, you're eating more protein. In the Mediterranean and vegetarian, you are more or less higher on fats, but in paleo diet looks more convincing because it has something which gets you on equal amount of protein and fats. So that's why don't get confused with all this nutrition story of you. This diet is good, that diet is good. Just go into what diet means is how much of carbohydrate, protein, and fats thing. So there are other diets like there are muscle building diets. So those guys are taking less carbohydrate, 60% of protein and fat. So for some women, they say they need 70% carbohydrate and only less thing. This is pretty much true today. What is happening is women are requiring a lot of carbohydrate. They do eat a lot of carbohydrate, close to 70% today, but I don't agree that you need to continue that. There is a lot of these are making them weak, and especially with your menstrual cycle, you lose a lot of energies. And for that, you need to really eat I don't say that you don't have to eat carbohydrate. You can eat it because you do lose the energies, but it is also important that you eat a lot of nutritional, especially minerals. So minerals are really lacking with them in terms of today's challenge what they have in the menstrual cycle. It can be PCOD, PCOS, or it could be anything more than heavy bleedings. So make sure you are slowly moving away from carbohydrate, and even if you are there with carbohydrate, at least eat unrefined carbohydrates, which are unpolished ones. Okay, and try to get on to a lot of minerals. Minerals are especially lacking today with women, especially with when you have bleedings, you're losing a lot of minerals. Minerals are the core for your health. Today, I'm almost can and improve my health only with minerals. That is the way even we see in homeopathy. We will talk about it and show it, but these are the some of the stories which carb stories. If you see, if you want weight loss, it clearly says come down your carbohydrate to 25%. If you want to maintain a moderate, bulky, puffy kind of thing, you go up to 50% carbohydrate. Muscle gain, I don't agree with the last theory. If you want muscle gain, you better come down to 20% of carbohydrate, the last part of it. And always try to look at nutrition facts, but it doesn't give you the complete picture. At least it gives you the proteins, how much is there. You look at those datas, and keto diet is nothing but having 75% fat. And today it is very hard to get complete fat as meal, because today's dairy, today's non-veg, all are with a lot of challenges in pesticides, or it could be even in some of the antibiotics given to the some of the non-vegetarians. So keto is very good diet. It's just that I personally tried it. You will not feel hungry. You just eat little and you can survive for longer, but you're not getting good fat foods. So fat doesn't mean that your carbohydrate. So let me why I told you is you can survive longer with protein is a protein and carbohydrate both contains 4 calories per gram, but so 4 calories per gram. But if you see, actually proteins have 9 calories, means you get more than
Nutrition.
double the energy of carbohydrate with the same quantity. So it is really proven that proteins have more calories, and it gives you a higher energy. So use little fat; it gives you as much as energy of eating more carbohydrates. So you don't have to eat more; you have to eat less, and you get more energy just by eating more fat. And most of the people don't understand what is fat. We spend a lot of time on what is fat. So make sure you just search about fat and proteins for vegetarians also. And if you see here, it is clearly says protein has 8 grams of protein. Some of the fats I talked about is unsaturated, saturated, whatever it is. Don't get confused in that. Just make sure you eat a natural fat. That's all it matters. And carbohydrate is not a great source of energy, but if you still have to eat whatever reason because of your conditioning of your body of eating the at least eat complex. So if you see why a plant nutrition came in is if you want to have proteins, basically the plant or the animal what has eaten, it would have eaten sulfur, iron, nitrogen. Uh, all this makes protein of your body. So that means any plant you eat, if it has sufficient sulfur, iron, and nitrogens given to it, it then when you eat those will convert to protein in your body. Similarly, carbohydrates or any of the chlorophyll. So macronutrient, micronutrients, if you see magnesium playing a critical role, calcium is playing a critical role in your body. Nitrogen and phosphorus are the NPKs. Sulfur also is required for your protein. So a lot of people would have told you sulfur is bad for health. Actually, it is good for, without sulfur, you cannot make protein. Similarly, your calcium, sodium is also important for lipids. Magnesium is important for chlorophyll. So similarly, there are so many things like that. But when humans and plant get deficiency, how does it look? When humans have deficiency that they didn't eat a plant with having a lot of zinc, people will have brain function alertness issues. If he has not eaten good food with enough copper, he'll have lung function issues. If he doesn't have eating much of calcium, he will not have strong bones. So whatever the plant you are eating, that should have been fed with this micronutrients so that when you eat that, that gets absorbed to your body. So that is why we say more than taking supplement, try to find a food which are potent food, which are foods grown organically, which are grown in soil. Don't eat hydroponic. Hydroponic more or less feeds more on macronutrient, very little of micronutrients. So if you see the same thing in plants, if they don't get calcium, iron, they show the deficiencies with the leaves coloring and fruiting. Similarly, humans, you would have seen a lot of people, students or bigger elder people will have a muscle pain. They will have brain, functionality issues or other heart problems. All these are because of micronutrients. It's not that your carbohydrate, protein and fats are very critical. It is more of your micronutrients which are important for your organs. So if you're suffering for organ diseases, you make sure you eat these micronutrients. How do you get in micronutrients? It's no easy way that I can tell in, in this food you'll have particular micronutrient is there or not is very difficult because every food is grown differently in different places. So sometimes you might have to get into an organic garden to make sure you grow potent food and eat those so that you can avoid these diseases. So a lot of people are doing that. They are growing their own food just for the heck of getting all the nutrients. You grow organically so that you don't have problems in your heart disease, lung disease, all these kind of challenges. So nutrition deficiencies today, even though if you get a good food and if you're still having supplement, that is reason is your probiotics is not there because you have consumed a lot of antibiotics. So today what is happening is any disease, they are giving antibiotic. If that goes into your body in excess, it is killing all the probiotics. Probiotics is the one which digests your food and absorbs all the nutrition, and even your intestine also absorbs it. So sometimes what has happened with so much of maida, other toxic plastic kind of food, it is all deposited on your intestines, which is not able to uh, absorb your nutrition even if you're taking good food or even when you're taking supplement. So today's nutrition, nutritionist or anyone lacks this knowledge that you need to detox yourself, basically remove all this heavy metals. You need to remove all that sticky materials in your intestine so that when you eat food, it should absorb all the nutrients. But if that is not happening, you are taking a supplement will not help, and supplement has its own challenges which we'll talk about in the next one. And also the complex relation of nutrition absorption means if calcium is to be absorbed, it needs another nutrition. So we'll just go into that. Also, you would see that a lot of people want to eat junk food. The reason why you want to eat junk food is your micronutrients are lacking. So make sure if someone says, like your kid says, I want to eat chocolate, the reason is not that you can't avoid chocolate. If chocolate is craving, that means his body's he wants magnesium. So chocolate comes with magnesium, but the problem is they have adulterated chocolate with a lot of sugar, lot of preservatives, So that is not good. So that's why if you get a raw cocoa, it is not sweet. The cocos have, good nutrition like magnesium, but they add with sugar and they add preservative, so they become chocolate. Similarly, if someone wants to eat sweet, it is nothing wrong to eat sweet because most of the sweets are supposed to have chromium, phosphorus, sulfur in it. So if you want a sweet, don't give this packaged sweets where they are doing the same thing. They are adding white sugar, they're adding preservatives, they're adding tasteners, they're adding the artificial colors. Just go give him a pure sugarcane juice. Give him a pure jaggery made, homemade peanut, sugary food. So sugar is not wrong. It's just that the sugar should not come as a refined sugar like white sugar, white rice. It should come as unpolished rice, or it should come as, because sugar is nothing but your rice is a sugar. It's a glucose. So don't be in this misconception of don't eat sugar, go eat rice. This is the biggest problem with nutrition, that people are not getting educated on what is sugary food. Sugary foods are anything as a refined carbohydrate. Okay. And a lot of fruits also have carbohydrates. So if you're taking fruits, you don't to really go and grab a, white rice or chapati. It's just that if you eat with the fiber, like, sometimes chiku comes organic, you eat with the peel. Uh, there are a lot of fruits which you need to eat the peel as well as the seeds. Those two have more potencies than the flesh of that fruit. So if you say go to abroad, they don't eat a lot of watermelon. They just eat watermelon seeds. They don't eat a lot of these, lemon or thing. They eat lemon peels. Okay, so these has more nutrition. So we are all being faked, saying that you take a fruit flesh. You take fruit seeds and fruit peels. Those are more thing. Only thing is today we can't consume most of the fruit peels, which is edible, because of pesticide or any other reason. So guava is a good thing. You eat with the peel. It is very good. You eat the seed also. But when it comes to watermelon, you discard the seeds. That is not good. So similarly, you take various examples. If someone is craving for white maida, that means he wants nitrogen. So nitrogen pretty much comes in good fat foods or protein foods. So instead of eating a bread, you go eat an egg, or you go eat an avocado, or you go eat something which is nitrogen are high even in green leaves. Eat some green leaf. So you need to understand your craving is just indicating what micronutrient or macronutrient deficiencies are. And most of it, if you see, is micronutrient deficiency, magnesium, chromium, calcium, silicon is all micronutrient. And one of our good professors by name Dr. Raju, he told very nicely in terms of what is the reason why certain, supplements don't work. In science, it is very, if you want to take magnesium, magnesium will help you to absorb calcium. So that means if you're taking calcium, you better take magnesium with it, or else your calcium is not going to absorb to it. But this magnesium requires selenium, because selenium is the one which pushes magnesium. So that means there is a promoter to magnesium, and magnesium helps in the aid of calcium. So that means selenium helps magnesium, magnesium helps calcium. So there is a chain of dependencies of micronutrients. So this is not very well understood. Someone keeps gulping calcium without magnesium, it's not going to absorb. So basically you're spending money to the nutritionist companies. And similar examples like ion calciums, which is very important for your cell walls. But calcium in another form is combined with phosphorus. It means calcium cannot be just taken like that. It has to be combined with phosphorus. So that means if you're just taking tuna, which is lime, which is the calcium, and you're not eating phosphorus food, it is not going to help you to form a bone. So there's a dependency of calcium and phosphorus together forming the bone. So that means you need to kind of have that combination. So that's why a lot of these nutrition dependencies or nutrition supplements is not going to go well with you. Better eat natural, potent foods, so that clean your gut. Don't take antibiotics. That is the only way you are going to have nutrition into your body, not just taking pills of supplements. And moving in general, what it says, reaction of reactant A and B in any chemical process is catalyzed by D. So that means there's more than two or three to get one thing into your body. So this is very complex. And that's why most of the nutritions are still doesn't work, because most of them don't understand, or some is not discovered. And some of these, like I told you, some of the micronutrients are good in onion. A lot of people sometimes don't eat onion, but what you miss is selenium micronutrient. So basically every food has its place. try to eat variety of food is what they say. And that's why the bottom line is make sure you eat micronutrients with taken as food, not as a supplement. Okay, so now how do we? So the interesting part is you're not going to cure a lot of diseases by eating protein, carbohydrate, and fats. There is to some extent you can help your body, but in right from our Vedic times, right from our various naturopathy, homeopathy, and Ayurveda, your micronutrients such as minerals are used to cure. Zinc is used in homeopathy, Ayurveda, and naturopathy to cure a lot of diseases. So a lot of neurological issues can be cleared with zinc. And if you see some of the examples here before all this science was investing, they used to use borax to make sure they kind of remove toxicity in the body. They used to use alum to clear lungs, liver, and stomach. So these are right before science was discovered. They just used to use this right from Vedic times. So what I'm saying is your protein carbohydrate is just for your day-to-day living and energy. If you want to cure diseases, just use these minerals. And these minerals are available. I'll talk about how it is available directly, but we'll see how Ayurveda defined this. Ayurveda told for any problem, they used to use Panchaloha, right from your idol to your Bhashmas. So the biggest, Ayurveda says this is the oldest: gold, silver, copper, zinc, iron is the best for your body. It heals a lot of things. And the example is, I'll take our rituals. We used to have panchalohas, and you used to do naivedya. The reason why you do panchaloha naivedya is when you soak water in these panchalohas or any kind of curd, it reacts with those panchalohas and releases these metals into the panchaloha. So when you're taking a panchaloha tirthas, and if it is soaked well, those curd or honey in that panchaloha, it releases those. But only thing is you need to keep it for a prolonged time. And this is what we do in naturopathy. We take a gold and silver, keep it in water for a day, and drink it. So even our Ayurveda were so scientific that people couldn't follow this, and they used to give panchalohas. Today, if you see, Hindu has become take a printout of Vishnu God and paste it in your thing, and you say Vishnu is in front of me. No, the whole scientific purpose of Naivedyas were to keep you healthy. If you go temples, there were energy centers, not that you do Pradakshina is all about the energy which is stored in those idols, which has earth energies and cosmic energy. So there's a lot of scientific. It's just that if you're doing a very good Hindu, make sure you get instead of posters of God, get some Panchaloha God, do some real Naivedya to it, keep it for some time and consume it. That is the way they are delivering health. God is giving health to you, not by pasting something. And just there's the aspect of faith, but there is also an aspect of Annamaya Kosha, where you need to keep having good nutrients. And one of the best is Panchalohas or these things. And the common micronutrients which are treated even in, so if you have a lot of menstrual exhaustion, blood deficiencies, fever, take iron. And how do you take iron? There are a few ways, we will talk about it. In naturopathy, we say use iron kadai. So when you cook anything in iron, dilutes into your food, and you are able to have iron from the metal directly. Or else, usually when you grow a plant, it takes iron in ionized format from the soil, and you eat that plant, you get iron. Like curry patta, curry leaves require a lot of iron. That's why they say eat iron, eat curry leaves, because curry leaves cannot grow without much iron. Similarly, if you have muscular pain, have copper. That's why our Rishi Munis used to drink a lot of water in copper, because you don't know whether your plant grew in a very good soil which had copper. Similarly, magnesium, even if you have done gardening, you'll understand that it is so important for so much of metabolism in plant. Similarly, for humans also, you need that. So next is neurological. In neurological, why our ancestors told wear gold or use gold was basically it helps in a lot of neurological issues, and even in homeopathy we follow it. So a lot of ladies and people use gold as a ornamental. Please use it for consuming gold. Either you can have a silver, gold vessel and consume that cold water, which is called gold charged water. You can boil gold and it slowly releases into ionized format and you can drink. Silver is such a good antibiotic. That's why, olden days they used to have silver plates, silver glasses. It's just that we consume it still ornamental. If you have a silver plate or glass, what you do, you basically just take a water like this and drink. It won't dilute. You need to at least keep more than 24 hours or at least boil water in that vessel so that it gets dissolved. So that's why it's very important the kind of vessels you use and how you use it. So today it has all become superficial. Even if you have silver, gold, you're just wearing it or you're just keeping it for puja. That is not the way our rituals told. The rituals told use it. And all these were put in your Panchaloha. So get an idol with Panchaloha and make sure you use it. So all that Panchaloha, God is, in the form of God. All the Panchalohas are released to your Naivedya and you're consuming it. And only thing is, how do you get that into Naivedya is you have to keep for some time. And, the reason, if your soil is not good in magnesium, sulfur, you're not eating good food and you'll have deficiency. Then you'll end up taking supplements like, how do you get good magnesium? Usually you have to eat a lot of dry fruit. Today, a lot of people don't eat dry fruit because it's so expensive. And you're lacking magnesium. Magnesium leads to other problem of metabolism. Today, if you want potassium in good quantity, instead of eating so much of rice, you better eat banana. It is very good. It has potassium, it has other minerals instead of taking white rice. So if you go into the micronutrient, how Unani and Ayurveda used, if you see Abrak Bashma, they basically add iron, magnesium, and potassium. So if you don't have curry patta, you'll end up having Abrak Bashma, especially ladies who have a lot of menstrual problems because iron is depleted, your magnesiums are depleted, your potassium can be taken from carbohydrate. So basically, Abrak Bashma just mixes in ionic format iron, magnesium, and potassium. So our age-old things they knew. And similarly, even diamond is good for health. So basically Hira Bashma, even Unani or Ayurvedas also use Hira Bashma. So basically they make sure so don't go eat diamond now. Just these are very ionized format, very minute level that it won't affect your direct thing, and it should be taken in a very limited quantity. That's why the initial disclaimer: do not directly take all this. Probably consult and certified practitioners and then take it. But what I'm saying is you can ask them these details, or at least these information will help you to find the right doctor. Today, even doctors are just passing out like, just read something, whatever has been read without analysis, they just do. And allopathy doesn't promote all this. Homeopathy promotes it. So if it's a good, you are well off if you are with an homeopathy guys because they understand all this. Naturopathy guys understand, Ayurveda understand. There are three streams who give only minerals. So, like in homeopathy for iron they give ferrum metallica, for gold they give aurum metallica. So the aurum metallicum. So basically, in homeopathy, a lot of people confuse because the names for iron is ferrum, for gold it is called aurum, and for copper it is called cuprum. And if you see the definition of homeopathy, cuprum means copper. Copper is help to relieve cramps, pains, and coughs. So basically, it works as a very good antibiotic. That's why our rishis or our lakes used to have copper in the thing. So copper is good. Only thing is excess copper causes toxicity. So make sure you don't use an copper vessel with an acidic thing, and too much of copper gets into your food. So you need to use copper in a water or a copper in a non-acidic environments. And magnesium is such a miracle for plant as well as humans. So today we are mainly forgotten magnesium in our food, or our foods are not coming with magnesium. So you might have to end up eating magnesium, which is nothing but known as Epsom salt. So Epsom salt today also are being very artificial. If you really get an organic magnesium, that is the best thing. It can cause it cure even in cancer. It can and C is it also. One of the age-old remedies. So magnesium, don't forget, try to see where is the good source of magnesium. I talk about it, but it's nothing but technically called Epsom salt. So after these can be used to heal, there are certain metals which can also not heal. It will cause diseases in you. So there are certain metals you should not eat, micronutrients. These are coming now with vaccinations, with some of the pollutions which are and underground water. So basically, some of these metals are good, but some metals like uranium, mercury, aluminium. So the most common toxicity in today is you're using aluminium vessels. You are getting injections which have aluminium. There are certain medicines where mercury is added. There are some ways where you can have excess copper, which can become the toxicity. The rest, arsenics are all coming with some pollutants. So basically, if you see a lot of neurological diseases, they are all basically because of these heavy metals such as mercury or aluminium. So the most common exposure today is a lot of people have aluminium vessels, a lot of people have this non-stick wares, a lot of people have this mercury coming in from some source. So make sure you're not consuming this, because if this comes in, you can see that you have a DNA damage, you have a cell membrane damage, you have your proteins also have kind of problems. So a lot of these has to be taken care. Make sure you take good metals, not the bad metals. So if you see, aluminum vessels should be banned actually, but they don't ban. And if you see the middle screenshot, there are certain medicines or vaccinations coming with aluminum hydroxide or aluminum pure aluminum. So all these are not good, and there are various reasons people explain. But if you see the Australia statistics, every newborn vaccine has 250 gram, 945 microgram. So much of vaccinations are loaded with aluminium today, which are not good, but they have to substantiate. But a lot of kids are getting neurological problems. So make sure you're not consuming these kind of toxic heavy metals. And even in homeopathy, you don't typically give any of these medicines. Only due to like sometimes to remove aluminium, they might give a slight dose of aluminium, or to remove any kind of mercury sometimes slightly given, but not any huge.
हमारा आज दिन का टीवी खत्म नहीं हो गया था, पापा ने अभी बोला था थोड़ी देर पहले.
So we will go into the next slide. Conclusion is there are micronutrients which are good, like panchalohas. Use it because we use it in naturopathy. Certified it. Ayurveda uses it, and also you use it in homeopathy. But the common not to use are mercury, tin, aluminium are very toxic. And nutrition will work only when you detox your body, especially if your gut is got a lot of deposits, lot of heavy metal. None of the nutrition works. So basically, if you want to nutrition, first learn to detox. Don't waste your money on supplement. Don't waste your money on just eating carbohydrate. That will never bring you micronutrients. And micronutrients is the foundation for good health, not just the macronutrient. Macronutrient, if you don't take, you will anyway not be able to walk and talk. But even if you walk and talk, and if your organs are not working, you have a heart disease, you have diabetes, you have any muscular pain, all these are micronutrients. So make sure today's world is that they're giving you macronutrient and making sure you're walking, sitting, but you will have some problem because your micronutrients are not there. So make sure you focus on micronutrients. It can be in Ayurveda form, Bhashma. It can be in homeopathy, metallicums. It could be in naturopathy by using those metals and charged water by boiling it. And the myth is, though, only sugar is glucose. So all the initial days, doctors also used to say sugar is your causing diabetes. No, your carbohydrate, refined carbohydrate is all glucose. So understand carbohydrate, refined carbohydrate are glucose. Then next is diabetes is the disease. No, diabetes is just a man-made disease because you have been given to eat more bread, more white rice, 3 times wheat, 3 times white rice. That's why you're getting type 2 diabetes. So type 1 is different where there's no insulin, but type 2 is just because you're eating carbohydrates. If you put anyone typically on a protein or a fat diet, you can't get diabetes because there's no glucose going into your body. Okay, so I think coming to the end, now you understand most of the word. What is fat? What is health? What is diet? What is iron? What is calcium? What is lifestyle? What is macrominerals? What is microminerals? So these are the some things which I wanted to. If you want more details on micronutrient, we are going to have a webinar on homeopathy for laymen on 29th July, Wednesday. So we were going to talk about some of these minerals, micronutrients, which are like you see, gold, or could be even some of the silica, all these kind of salt, all these are part of minerals, are part of homeopathy treatments. Before I end, we are what we eat. Potent food is the message here. Potent foods are which are having micronutrients, and the only way you can make sure is growing yourself. Typically, I've gone organic, or you go visit the farmer and make sure how he's growing. Don't just buy by labels. Labels are just a box. Everyone is just. And once again, disclaimer: this is not an certified nutritionist advice. I'll try to see if I can bring in a certified nutrition doctor to talk in the next in-depth thing. But this has been my experience as per my past, experiments on myself and a few other good friends who have advised and explored in the way, health and disease matters, and especially micronutrient playing a bigger role. So this for information purpose. Please consult good doctors and make sure you take it. But this will help you to go back to them and tell, guys, can you really, or at least it will help you to find the real doctors. Okay, good doctors. So with that, I'll end. I think we can quickly take questions. I think we are just having few minutes, so go ahead. I'll unmute. But, yeah. Anyone has a question? No questions?
I have a question with regards to senior citizens because of the current times. What would be suggested? Because there are a lot of them, they are incurring issues with regards to pains, osteoporosis, and those issues, even neurological. So, do we think that this general philosophy is true for them also?
Yeah, see, my uncle was, gout arthritis. And in his case, what he did was basically, he used to take a lot of allopathy medicine, and it really did not work. It used to, so what he did is he went into keto diet. He eliminated all this processed, the carbohydrate, and he just took typically a coconut with some dry fruits and some juices. 80 to 90% of uric acid went never reoccurred. There is a slight occurrence, but for him, especially changing is from macro carbohydrate to something else. But for osteo, it is a different challenge. You have calcium deficiencies, you have either joint, ligament, problems. So it's a different story altogether. But typically, every disease is different. Whether and if you just say, like, if I'm male and if you want to get a good bone, your bones are already developed. It's already formed. I don't think we can do any miracle there. So I think a better osteoporosis doctor can help you on that. But typically, go find a good doctor who can explain you this and say what is really possible at that age and not possible. We are just trying to unnecessarily take so much of supplement which will not help at that age. When it is growing, really give them good calcium, it will help. But after that, how much of calcium can be absorbed? I doubt. Next question. Okay, no questions?
No, I think I'll have one more. With
Yeah.
regards to the eyes, I mean, specifically these days we see everybody's incurring eye strain and also having eyeglasses to be taken care of. So, what do we say here? Vitamin A, is that only the root cause, or is it a combination? Because many a times it still doesn't help.
Yeah, I think that's the area which I haven't explored because, as I told you, I come from, I didn't tell you, but I'm from an naturopathy background. Some of these observations has been part of my, cross working with the thing. For eyes, I really don't have much, but I think we can take it on if I have the nutrition doctor, if I get him, we'll take it there. Okay.
Sure, thanks.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. Regarding gallbladder bile emptying from gallbladder routinely, with the good health of liver, what must have we have in our diet
What did you have?
daily?
Gallbladder? What issue? Gallbladder stones?
Gallbladder's health with the overall health, liver health.
Yeah, liver health. See, what happens is, if you see the anatomy of liver to gallbladder to your, your intestine, basically
Yeah.
whatever toxin secreted at liver is basically flushed into, into your gallbladder. From gallbladder, it's moved out. But if there is challenges there, sometimes you see gallbladder stones. That's why we
Yeah.
recommend anything with liver issue or gallbladder issue to go for a detox. So there are like Epsom salt with extra virgin olive oil, which helps to flush it out. So that way you're not having a lot of these nutrition deficiency. Sometimes it's because of it is clogged. Your liver is putting out all the toxin to gallbladder so that it goes out of your intestine, but somewhere there's a lot of gallbladder stone. So a lot of people who had gallbladder issues or liver, they have applied this general detox of liver detox. It has worked great. So you can try that.
For senior
Hello,
citizen
sir.
also.
Yeah, it works. I've seen a lot of patients are doing that. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sir, this is Neha here. So it was a good session.
Okay.
My one basic question is that when you talk about micronutrients from the vegetables, so fruits and vegetables, so eating raw is better or cooked vegetables is
Obviously,
better?
raw is better because raw food will not will have the plasma or the energy with it. When you heat anything,
Right,
you lose nutrition to some extent. So that's why
right,
naturopathy we say if you eat anything with prana, there is an plasma energy, and you have preserved all the
right,
nutrition also with it. So always eat
right.
raw. Only thing is in vegetable,
But
it's difficult. Go for fruit,
right.
raw food.
Right. But sir, in current scenario, as you were talking about pesticides and we don't know they are adding colors
Correct.
and injections and everything. So in today's time, how can you suggest raw, like how can we maximize raw food and
So
increase our
terrace gardening, your
micronutrients?
vegetable can be grown in your terrace garden. Your fruits can be
Okay.
still procured from the markets because typically fruits you don't eat the peel, and most of the
Right.
fruits are not sprayed with a lot of pesticide. It's only vegetables, and vegetables are so
Okay.
easy to grow in your terrace garden. So I've started terrace gardening for this reason. So that was the solution. No
Right.
scientific
Right. So,
evidence.
in Ayurveda, in naturopathy, is there any other supplements which you suggest? Like, if you
No,
can't eat so
see,
much of
in
raw
naturopathy, we say there is
vegetables.
your food is medicine. That's why we only say
Okay.
if you procure the right food and eat it, that's all is the
Okay.
solution. And
Okay.
only thing is we do detox
Right.
so that whatever you have
Okay.
accumulated, I think the previous
Right.
webinar is live on YouTube. You can go to play that out. It
Okay.
clearly says how
Okay.
naturopathy works. It's all about eating potent food. But before eating potent food, find out which are the toxins you're eating today and make sure you
Okay.
detox so that all the absorption.
Right. Right, sir. And so
Yeah.
you also referred to homeopathy. So in homeopathy, there is supplements for these
Correct.
micronutrients.
Correct.
So we can use that if we are not able to pursue, like if we don't have a terrace and we don't have garden right now. So we can
Yes.
go for supplements from
See,
homeopathy.
supplements will only help you for some extent. See, micronutrients, there are something called soluble and insoluble. That
Okay.
will
Right.
basically, some nutrients which are soluble and some are insoluble. Some you need to keep replenishing. Some will be there in your body. So once again, it's a deep study. So I would,
Right, sir.
yeah. So better you
Right.
keep having good food. That's all they say. And for eating good
Right.
food,
Sir,
Okay.
yeah, go ahead. Next.
sir, I have a
Thank you.
question.
Yeah.
I'm Uma Agarwal. I have a question.
Yeah.
Since you keep mentioning about detox, can you give a general program how we can do a detox on a regular basis in an
Yeah,
easy
sure.
way
So there is a very
at
good
home?
book written by one of the one of the good author. That book is available freely. What I can do is whoever are in my groups, I'll put it back on my groups.
Yeah,
Detox
that
book.
will be nice. That
Yeah.
will be nice. And then we can follow from that
Correct.
book.
Absolutely. Yes. Because see, detox is a very delicate subject, and certain ages people can have complicated. But this guy who has written is written on every aspect of detox, liver, kidneys, and he has tested with so many people, and it's a public record. So no one has to fight on it whether this can cause this, that. It's all tested and written. So and there's always a disclaimer because as per the legal law, right, those particular professional doctors only are supposed to legally prescribe and things. So we cannot, me as general cannot talk on every, cause and
Okay.
thing. We can
Yeah,
only give you
sure.
informational, but there are certain books which is publicly available that it's non-debatable.
Okay, thank
I'll
you.
put out in the groups. Yeah. Next.
Hello,
Yeah.
sir. I just wanted to know that during this lockdown, I've started getting BP. I'm high BP. It is just 1 month back. Initially, I did not have it, but how can I cure it? I don't have to be dependent on medicine. Can you give me any advice, please, sir?
Okay, high BP, they are saying that if you have excess sodium also it can happen. Sometimes people are just changing to some mineral salt, which is Himalaya salt. But we have seen some mixed reactions. Some say it just more, makes it more. Some say, okay, it doesn't work. So I don't think I have any effective way to say typically or why. But typically, theoretically, what they say is if you have excess sodium, you basically get high BP. So lower your sodium, which is your salt, they say. But what is happening is it is like your thyroid situation. Basically, you're eating white salt, which doesn't have minerals in it, and also they are adding excess iodine. So basically you'll get thyroid, excess thyroid, because you're eating white salt, which is having always iodine, too much of iodine, excess iodine. And also you'll have BP because you're eating too much of excess thing. If in that Himalaya salt, you have all these micronutrient traces, magnesium or any of these. So this can help you to reduce BP. That's why typically, theoretically, they say that if you have Himalaya salt or any mineral salt, basically all this micronutrient will work together to make sure you unnecessarily don't have too much of sodium in your body, or at least take it in a limited way that it can help you in other organs. So basically try to come out of white salt, try to use a limited way, a bit of salt which is unrefined, which is the Himalaya salt. Try that, but under a medical supervision. That's the observation or theories which prevails, but a lot of people have given me mixed observations about it, and it takes.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
I've just started on pink salt. I've just started on that. And
Okay.
I'm asking because I've just started with the BP medicine, so I don't want to be on
Correct.
for lifelong. So if I can get out of it, it's just 1 month.
Best thing.
So if I can get out of it, so then
And
that'll be much
BP
better.
also, see, there is another theory about BP. See, what they say is your blood pressure goes up if your arteries are clogged, your blood is not moving. So obviously, when you go on a normal raw diet, it tries to clean up your arteries. So in naturopathy, we say if you want to clean up your arteries so that your blood flows smoothly, just go on raw diet. It repairs all your arteries. It cleanses your blood. Your blood becomes thin, and there's not much pressure for it to move it around. And also sometimes that's why they say in Ayurveda they do a bit of massage also, so that where there are certain areas where your blood would have clogged or your arteries are clogged. So all this down to detox. And how will you detox? There is no way that you can take a brush and clean up all your arteries. So try to be on raw diet. It has so much of micronutrient that it can make your blood thin. It can clear up your arteries, but not overnight. So basically, you need to understand. You need to inoculate a lot of habits which are. It takes time, right? You can't just, you're clogged up so much of your arteries and intestine with bad food. And if you even start Triphala today, or if you start with a raw diet, it's not going to go away in next 3 days. A lot of people give up hopes because I did for 1 week, I did for 2 weeks. No. It takes typically 3 to 6 months. For me, it has almost taken a year to reverse a lot of things. But it's a sustained input, clean input, sustained detox is just occasionally I do. Once you have detoxed fully for 2-3 months, and then you've been eating clean food, you don't have to really end up doing a lot of detox. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Doctor, I think there are a couple of questions.
Hello, sir.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Hello. What oil we should consume for
anything natural oil?
have
Just any.
HDL, cholesterol.
See, there also in allopathy terms, there are good cholesterol, bad cholesterol. In naturopathy
Yeah.
terms, there is only good cholesterol. I mean, there's nothing like it's bad until and unless you're eating anything as a chemical or any kind of mineral oil, which is spoiling your thing. Typically, if you're eating good natural oil, don't worry about what comes up. Today, you have to worry because you're eating refined oils. You're eating some kind of toxins in your typically fat like dairy, all that is contributing to your cholesterol. So eat clean and then see your reading if it really comes back to normal, because as BMI says, it's all averages. See, if your sugar is 150 doesn't mean that you don't have sugar. Some people say at 160 you have sugar, but every body is different. What has been told is an statistics average, and it can vary day by day in what you eat. So now earlier they used to measure post and fast based on every week. Now they say just look at average HB1AB. So all that is they have people have been unnecessarily put on medication. Then when the science changes, you're told this. So go back to your way, Ayurvedic way. Ayurveda also never says that the good cholesterol and bad cholesterol, and nor naturopathy.
So
Only, yeah,
nuts and all we can have daily,
yes,
no?
you can have very well.
Almonds and all
Yeah,
of
but
that.
don't have nuts and then go eat a refined oil food. Okay. So what are you adding?
Yeah.
And find out your dairy is not coming from duplicate Amul packets.
Yeah, yeah.
So all that has to
Thank
be
you.
taken care. So they say go on self-sustainable living, grow, eat, and live, rather than get, buy, eat, and suffer. Don't do that. Don't buy.
Doctor, there are a couple of questions on the chat. Would you be able to answer them, please?
Oh no, fat. I think it's not my area. I'll try to see if I can get a nutritionist doctor.
No, on the chat, doctor.
No, you ping me later. Okay, I think we are losing time. It was a half
Fine.
an session. We are already and so you ping me later offline. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, with that.
Thank you, sir. Very nice session.
Yeah, thanks. And make sure you catch up with homeopathy. That will help a lot. And if you get an idea of homeopathy, a lot of people can go to real homeopathy doctors, because I had bad experience with homeopathy because most of the homeopathy give white pills and we get fed up. Okay, the same white pill, I want white. Is he giving the same or is it working? We don't know. So we'll try to demystify some of the basics of homeopathy so that you can ask your doctor, what medicine is this? And when it improves, the medicine is this work for you, this micronutrient work, or this plant nutrient work. So that way you are getting to know your ailments cure. Most of them lose faith because they don't know what they're feeding, and you don't know why they are changing, and you give up homeopathy or Ayurveda because you're not understanding what they are trying to. Because I've seen discuss some of the doctors, they say they give for first symptoms this medicine, it doesn't work, they go for the second one, and by the time we lose confidence in those doctors. So basically the doctors also don't explain, nor you also ask why it is not going. So basically they also don't tell, I tried this, usually typically for this symptom this works, but if it doesn't for your thing, we'll change this. But typically they won't tell you that. And like allopathy, they won't write and give you, and it's like, oh, these guys are taking me for a ride kind of perspective comes up. There are a few good doctors like I've come across who really tell you what is happening, or at least if you know, you can at least tweak them. And also once you know the cure, it's set for your lifetime. If you know that for your problem it is only the iodine which is causing excess iodine and changing salt, you are taken care. You will not get all kind of diseases. It's only that certain deficiencies which you have grown up shows up at a later stage. So that deficiencies, if you bridge it at this age, you're taken care. And if you know which is poison, you're not going to poison your system. That takes most of your takes care of this. And this is not taught in most of allopathy, naturopathy, one thing, because today no one understands what is happening with our food, how it is grown, what factories are adding, what what medicines are having inside with it. Like vaccination today is the biggest controversy. There are good vaccination, but there are also many which are causing a lot of young children with a lot of neurological problems and things like that. So most of the parents now are resorting to detoxing because there's no solution. We can't afford to, take medication for long, because those medications are leading to a lot of, organ problems. It impacts organs. Like if you take continuous insulin, you know what happens to your kidney. If you take a lot of painkillers, you know what happens to your kidney. If you take other kind of antibiotics, you'll have nutrition deficiencies. But no one is worried about that. They just give you antibiotic and they forget to tell you take what probiotics. See, the way to overcome antibiotics is you give antidote of probiotic. No one will tell you that. They will only make sure they cleaned up the disease and also they cleaned up the good gut. So that is all is what is lacking as an integrated medicine, because everyone reads their own stream of allopathy, Ayurveda, but now Ayurveda guys never know what is the today's toxin. Allopathy doesn't know what is the other minerals which can be used typically. So there could be a lot of challenges. I don't blame anyone here, because sometimes it's the syllabus, sometimes it's a lobby, sometimes it is unknown factors. Industries are unknown. Not any doctor know what is happening in these foods, what is happening in farmers, where is agriculture, spoiling the food. That is also not known to them. So they are obviously bent to cancer, treat cancer, but no one knows how to avoid cancer. Where is the toxin? Cancer is all about a toxin in your body, right? Typically, you have a mutated cell, you have some toxicity in some organ or in something. So all that is challenging, and it's anyway. Even if you cure this, someone else would have put something else. So just make sure you eat clean. That's all they say. Stop. That's why globalization is not recommended, because you don't know where the food is coming, how it was grown. So get a basic after at certain age. You just have to rely on your own food. And a lot of people have tried to go into homesteading or the permaculture, where they grow their own food in backyard, eat and sleep. Most of it is taken care. Okay. With that, we'll end this session. Thanks.